Kevin Rudd, thanks for your time.
It's very good to be talking with you, Brian.
Kevin Rudd, you've got a $57 billion deficit.
Well, can I say, obviously, Brian, Wayne Swan has had to prepare here and deliver probably the most difficult budget of modern times.
But Malcolm Turnbull says he would have delivered a surplus.
Does he? Well, Malcolm's imaginary friend, Joe Hockey, Brian, he reckons he would have delivered a $25 billion loss. So I think they should get it sorted out in the dressing room before running on the ground.
Mr Rudd, this is the biggest deficit in our history.
Just a word, Brian. Deficit is just a word. We shouldn't be frightened of a word.
Deficit.
It's a temporary deficit. Companies do it all the time. Individuals do it all the
temporary
time.
Deficit?
It's a temporary deficit.
So when are we coming out of this temporary deficit?
Well, 2015, 2020, somewhere there.
What, 6 to 10 years?
Temporary years, Brian.
Oh, Mr Rudd, what's a temporary year?
It's a year in which you're running a temporary deficit.
Oh, hang on, was the Second World War temporary?
I've seen that analogy, Brian, and the obvious answer is yes, it was. It's not still going, Brian. Look out the window. It's finished.
So, Mr Rudd, where is the money coming from?
It comes from the other column.
I beg your pardon?
Well, if you've got an amount at the bottom of one column, Brian, in your accounts, you've got to have the same amount at the bottom of the other column.
Yeah, but what happens if you haven't got any money?
Well, you've got a deficit, Brian. You're funding your budget using a deficit.
But where does the money come from, Mr Rudd?
It comes from the other column.
What, it's the difference?
That's right. The difference between what you are spending and what you've actually got is your deficit.
Well, what you've got's a deficit.
Temporarily.
Temporarily for 10 years, Mr Rudd.
Brian, it doesn't matter how long a temporary deficit lasts.
Why not?
Because it's temporary.
Mr Rudd, the other thing that happened during the week was the announcement that you're going to postpone doing anything about the environment until the economic crisis
Can I say we haven't got much choice about that, Brian?
Radically different from the Howard government's position.
It is extremely different from the Howard government's position.
You're not going to do anything about it either.
We have a brilliant policy, prepared, all organised. We've got a whole lot of carbon reduction emission. The whole campaign is in place.
Mr Rudd, you're not going to do it.
Yes, we are.
When?
As soon as we fix the world economy.
Have you let the environment out there know that there's going to be a delay?
Have we let the environment
know? Well,
you know,
it'd be a courtesy call or something like that, an email.
Ring the environment?
Yeah.
You can't ring the environment, Brian. You're being ridiculous.
Mr Rudd, you're being ridiculous. You're saying you're better on the environment because the policy you're not going to bring in is better policy.
Brian, the policy we're not going to bring in is brilliant.
Have you got a list of other things that you probably won't do that you'd like to not do? You know, like cure world poverty?
Julia, get a pencil, will you, quickly? Brian's on a roll. What else don't you want to do, Brian?
Oh, cure all the world's diseases.
That's a brilliant idea. I've always not wanted to do that.
When will you not be doing that?
Well, as soon as we possibly can't.